Hello, class. Unfortunately, not all problems in my lab will allow you to use StatCrunch. This is a binomial distribution problem. It says 39.7% of consumers believe that cash will be obsolete in the next 20 years. Assume that 8 consumers are randomly selected. Find the probability that fewer than 3 of the selected consumers believe that cash will be obsolete in the next 20 years. Let me point out a couple of things. First, the obsolete in the next 20 years, that number 20, it's not really part of the problem. You're not going to plug that in anywhere. It might as well have been that a certain percent of consumers believe that cash will be obsolete in 5 years or in 1 year. It doesn't matter. It's just a test whether something falls into a category or not. So it's either true or false that a consumer will believe this condition. So that's the first thing. So don't let something like that confuse you. The other thing is you'll have to read into the problem. The first thing I always do when I have a binomial distribution type of problem is I want to know the number of trials. So I reread the question and I look for the number of trials. It says 39.7% of consumers believe. Well, that 39.7% is not your number of trials. I already discussed the 20 years is not the number of trials. And here we have assumed that 8 consumers are randomly selected. So this 8 is the number of trials. You're testing 8 people to see whether or not they fit into this category or not. The next thing you look for is lowercase p, or the probability of success on each trial, meaning the probability that it's true that a consumer believes this condition. Well, that's the first number we have here, 39.7%. In case I forget to mention this later, if something is given to you in a percent, always plug it in as a decimal. So 39.7% works out to be 0.397. The next thing that we're going to have to think about is what is X? X is what you're looking for. If it says the probability of exactly 3 people saying something, then X would be 3. But note this one says they want to know the probability that fewer than 3. Fewer than 3 can either be 0 people believe that, 1 person believes that, or 2 people believe that. So it won't go all the way up to 3 if it says fewer than 3. You have to be very careful when you do this because it could have just as easily said that at most 3 people believe cash will be obsolete. If it said at most 3, it would include that 3. So here wording is very important. So fewer than 3 means either 0, 1, or 2. So we have our N, or number of trials, our lowercase p, or the probability of success on each trial, and we also have our X value. Our X value will be 2, not 3. Again, read into these problems very carefully. Let's go over to our handy-dandy TI-84 calculator. In order to get access to the binomial distribution function on the calculator, follow these steps. I want you to keep in mind that a lot of times there's always more than one way to do some of these things, but this is my way of doing it. If you have another way, that's perfectly fine with me. But the way I do it is I click second, And then this vars key right above it, it has DISTR, which stands for distribution. We'll be using this on the TI-84 calculator for normal distribution functions as well when we get there. But for now, we're using it for binomial. And we would click on that second, as I already did, and then the VARS, and it gives us a list of distributions. Well, I scroll down until I find BinomCDF. For this type of problem, we don't use PDF. Notice we have two. We have BinomPDF, the binomial probability distribution function, or we have BinomCDF, which is the binomial cumulative distribution function. Because we will need to use more than one x value added together, the calculator does that for us. We have an x value of 0, an x value of 1, and an x value of 2. And when we get the probability distribution for each one, they all get added together if we use the BinomCDF. Theoretically, we could use the BinomPDF and get the value for an x of 0, write it down, then for 1, write it down, and then for 2, and write it down, and then add all those together. One great advantage of doing it via the BinomCDF is that it will just automatically add them all together if you do your inputs correctly. So, after I scroll down and I'm on BinomCDF, I would click on Enter. And here we have the number of trials as 8. I already have it shown as 7 because I did it with a different problem. So I can just overtype it, or I can click clear first. You don't have to, you can just overtype it with 8. And then you can click enter. And now I'm going to overtype this also. Instead of 0.398, I'm going to type 0.397 because 39.7% of consumers believe, etc. And then enter. And I already have 2 here. Remember, this problem says fewer than 3, which means either 0, 1, or 2. So I already have 2 there, but let's pretend I didn't have anything there. So I'm going to press 2, and then I hit enter. Don't worry about paste. I'm going to click enter. And it gives it to me how it would be written down on a piece of paper if I would write it. This part right here says BinomCDF 8, 0.397, 2. I'm going to press enter again, and it will give me the result. The result is 0.3216, etc. It says the probability is, and it says round to 3 decimal places. So this number rounded to 3 decimal places is 0.322. And then I'm going to check my answer. And well done.